What's up guys, Ryan with the MXG channel here, and I just wanted to go over some first impressions on my 2022 450 factory edition. I've got it out here in the yard. I'm about to put the graphics on it. Yes, some of the Red Bull stuff is coming off the shroud. But yeah, I just want to tell you guys some thoughts on it. Now that I have 5 hours on it, I've had it on my turn track, I've had it in the trails, I've had it at 2 different public motocross tracks. That was Pro Sport and I-64. I feel pretty comfortable on it now. There's a whole list of things I love, a couple things that I still haven't figured out, but let's go over all that stuff now really quick. So first of all, yes, I feel like this is a drastic, I don't know if I'd say drastic, but it is a very superb upgrade to the 19 to 22 Gen 450, which was already a fantastic machine. Let's talk motor first. So generally, single overhead cam 450 motors are chuggers. They're known as just slower revving, a little bit of vibration, you know, not a whole lot of over rev, and that's kind of what had made me think I was probably going to move to a 350 here probably next year, because the 350 you get almost this kind of grunt, you get almost this kind of power, but you don't, you know, you get that fast playful rev with the over rev, and you get none of the vibration, and so you get a lot of the benefits and really none of the bad aspects of a 450. And you know, back to the reason I ride a 450 in the first place, guys, it's all because of longevity. It's not because of a need for any crazy amount of power. It's because a 450 is the easiest bike to ride on your wallet, because you know, if you ride these things, you know, 100, 150, 200 hours, sometimes you don't really have to do much but air filters and oil changes. But anyway, back to the differences. This motor is, you know, very similar to the 19 to 22, but it behaves very differently. I feel like it revs a little faster, but it has more bottom hit than the other one, but I feel like it revs a little faster and it has a little more over rev, so it feels a little bit more like a 350. I love it. I mean, it's hard to tell on the vibration unless you jump on one back to back, and I still have my 19 and I plan on doing that, but I swear it's a little less vibration as well. So I think the motor's great. I guess we can go ahead and talk about the maps while we're talking about the motor. But you know, you've got map 1 and map 2. On my 19, map 1 to me, which is the more passive map, it is useless. So I would try to switch to it when I would get tired or something like that, thinking it wouldn't be as twitchy. And you know, I'd come around and try to seat bounce a jump out of a corner, and it's just like brr, like it's just not there. So I stayed in map 2 all the time. Drastic differences in map 1 and map 2 on the 19 to 22. On the, you know, 22 factory edition or the 23, not such a drastic difference in map 1 and map 2. It's still noticeable, but it's not drastic. So I actually, at I-64, I ran map 1 for a while. I switched to map 2 as the day went on. I got more tired and the track got more hard pack and slick. I switched back to map 1, and I found it beneficial for sure. So it's an improvement, guys. I like it. Now we're up there by the map switch already, so let's talk about the quick shift. One of my favorite things as well. So if you're not familiar with the quick shift, a lot of people still aren't. Guys, it's not shifting for you. What the quick shift does, these have been on street bikes and adventure bikes forever, it allows you to shift without pulling in the clutch at full load, with a load on the transmission, which on most transmissions is really hard to click into gear with a load on it. Now the KTMs have the pankles anyway, so you know, they're the best shifting bikes out there anyway. When you add this quick shift, I mean, it's just, guys, it's killer. So there's a sensor on the shift drum, and whenever this lever starts to go up, it will hesitate the ignition for just a second, a nanosecond, and let the bike slip into gear. That's it. So basically, I think it would be cool for starts, but I haven't really verified that yet. But I'm really liking it out of turns into long straights. I'll come out of a rut in second gear and just hold it kind of pinned, and I can shift into third, and sometimes if I need to, into fourth, and it hesitates the bike and gets back on the throttle quicker than I could by letting off or slipping the clutch. Plus, it just saves you that little bit of energy. It's very cool. I mean, it feels cooler than it is, but it feels pretty darn cool, guys. So definitely dig it. Traction control, I always ride with it on, but I never really notice when it's working. So I don't know. I'm sure it's doing something, but I've been told you really need to be going around like a flat sweeper and it really break loose to really tell what it's doing. I need to test that more. I could never really tell it on my 19, and I haven't really noticed it on this bike either. Okay, so we've talked about the motor, we talked about quick shift, we talked about the maps. I want to talk about the frame now. So I like the steel frame for the flex, guys. Obviously, that's what's cool about it. The problem with my 19 is it's got so much flex that sometimes it feels, in certain conditions, it'll feel wallowy. So then I'll ride the Yamaha. I've got a 2020 YZ450F I've been riding. I'll ride that, and in some spots I really enjoy that because the frame is so rigid. But then some spots it's too rigid, and I feel like this new frame, whatever they did with it, it's a perfect middle ground between the too wallowy steel frame of the 19 and 22s and the super rigid aluminum frames that we have on the Japanese bikes now. So I love the frame. Forks got a couple small changes for this year. I love the forks stock, guys. I think these things, I really think the people that started the Air Fort hate cult should be ashamed of themselves, because these forks are great right out of the box. I thought my 19 AERs were great right out of the box, and these are, these exacts are way better than those. So love these forks. I think less people should spend money messing with their forks on their KTMs and spend more money going racing, going riding. But it's your bike, do what you want to do. The only kind of issue I've had with this thing is the rear shock. Now, I haven't got to play with it yet. I've just been in a time crunch every time I get to the track. But the rear shock, keep in mind, it's not sprung for me. It's hard to even find springs for this shock yet. And so I'm 210 pounds. So I'm about, 30 pounds over what this shock spring is set for. Now, it actually does feel pretty darn good in 90% of the situations. Over jumps on the track, even though it's not sprung for me, it feels really good, except for when I'm decelerating hard right before a corner and I'm getting a kick over braking bumps, and this kick is so violent it's upsetting the whole chassis and just ruining my entrance into the corner. So that could be, it's hard to be very judgmental about a shock when you haven't even sprung it for your own weight, much less played with clickers or revalved it or anything like that whatsoever. So more on that later, but that's the only thing with this bike that I've noticed on the track, like, whoa, I don't like this. And I've watched all these videos from these other testers saying kind of crazy stuff about the quick shifter, and they went through a rut and it hit the shifter and made the bike hesitate. I don't know, guys. I don't know about all that, but I think the thing's awesome. I dropped a video, I think I dropped it already, but it's about how this is not a good grab handle. It's a great airbox vent, but it's not a good grab handle. You want to grab it from there. I like everything about this bike. It's very clean under the seat. All the cables and all the wires and stuff are wrapped together very tight. They went with a wider front fender. It looks shorter when you're riding. I don't know if it's actually shorter, but it's wider. No dirt hits your head. It hits you in the face now, and it just is very aesthetically pleasing when you're riding. I like the plastic radiator cap. It's just smaller, it's a little easier to get on and off. I've been told that these bikes eat through the chain guides really quick. This one's got 5 hours on it, and I haven't seen that problem yet. So I've been told it's hard to find chain guides. So I don't know, we'll see. Oh, the foot pegs. I'm not sure exactly what they did with these foot pegs. I know they moved them and they made them bigger. I don't know what direction they moved them, if it was in or if it was forward, but something about it feels better. And I don't think it's the size. I really do think it's the placement. I noticed that the first time I got on the bike. That was like the first thing I noticed. It just, your foot feels like it's supposed to be where it is more than the old generation. So I can definitely dig that. A couple other things you guys might want to remember if you're looking at one of these: oil filters are the same, air filters are different. It's a 1-bolt seat now. Yeah guys, I think that's enough information. I've covered a lot of this stuff in pieces here and there in other videos, but I wanted to put it all in one video. So if you're just discovering this in search results, or you've came by this is about all the information I have on it right now. I'm about to take these Red Bull shrouds off, clean them up, save them for the next guy, and put my you know, my personal plastics and graphics on this bike. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I hope some of you guys that are thinking about getting the 2023s, which are the same, there are really no changes besides the add-ons. The 2023s will be the same as this machine. So if you're up in the air between the 19 and 22 or 2023, I think you got to get one of these, man. You will probably really like it. So I don't know if you got any good information out of this. Let today be the day I earn your subscription. Get your dirt bike parts from aomc.mx by clicking in the link in my description, and it'll help this channel at no extra cost to you. In fact, you can save some money because you can use coupon code MXGuru and save 10% site-wide on your whole order, guys. I appreciate all y'all, and guys, we hit 20,000 subscribers. Rock on. I'll see you in the next video.